The alarm shrieked through the corridors of the Stellar Covenant, a multi-species research vessel charting the outer rim of the Andromeda sector. Lisa Chen, the ship's human xenobiologist, collapsed during the routine sampling of specimens from planet Zarian 7. Medical emergency. Section 4! Commander Velthar's mandibles clicked frantically as he triggered the emergency protocol. The Krillian officer had seen many things in his 30 cycles aboard mixed-species vessels, but watching a crew member succumb to toxins was never easy. James Morrison, the ship's other human and chief engineer, sprinted from the engine room, his boots echoing against the metal grating. He burst into the laboratory to find Lisa convulsing on the floor, her dark hair matted with sweat, foam gathering at the corners of her mouth. What happened? James dropped to his knees beside her. The specimen. Velthar gestured with his tertiary appendage toward the shattered containment unit. Purple liquid pooled across the workstation. Zarion poison lily, lethal to 98% of known sentient species within minutes. I've already called Dr. Shivara. James checked Lisa's pulse. Rapid but steady. Her eyes rolled back and her body went rigid. The medical team arrived in a flurry of activity. Dr. Shivara, a Thessian with crystalline skin that refracted the emergency lighting into rainbow patterns, immediately began scanning Lisa with handheld instruments. Neurotoxin confirmed. Cardiovascular compromise imminent. The doctor's voice carried the melodic tones of her species, though tension sharpened each note. Prepare cryostasis immediately. It's the only way to slow the poison's progression until we can synthesize an antidote. How long? James asked, his jaw tight. If we're fortunate, 48 hours. The Zarian toxin is notoriously complex. I'll need to analyze its molecular structure and create a counteragent from scratch. Dr. Shivara gestured to her assistants. Move her now. They loaded Lisa onto the hovering stretcher. James followed them to the medbay, ignoring Velthar's suggestion that he return to his duties. Through the observation window, he watched them seal Lisa into the cryo chamber, her body obscured by frost patterns spreading across the glass. Dr. Shivara emerged an hour later, her crystalline features dimmed with fatigue. She's stable for now. I've begun work on the antidote, but James, you should prepare yourself. Even with the cryostasis, her odds are less than 30%. James nodded but said nothing. He'd heard those odds before about humans. They were always wrong. 22 hours later, the medical bay's sensors went haywire. Dr. Shivara was analyzing the 7th failed iteration of her antidote when every monitor in the room began flashing red. The cryo chamber's vital signs display showed impossible readings. Temperature rising, heart rate spiking, neural activity off the charts. No. The doctor rushed to the chamber, her assistant scrambling behind her. She's waking up. The toxin should have. The cryo chamber hissed open. Lisa sat up slowly, frost crystals falling from her hair like snow. She blinked several times, her movement sluggish but deliberate. Then she swung her legs over the side of the chamber and stood. Dr. Shivara. Lisa's voice was hoarse. What happened? Why am I in cryo? The Thessian doctor stood frozen, her instruments hanging limply in her hands. You were poisoned. Zarian toxin. You should be. She couldn't finish the sentence. Oh, right. Lisa rubbed her temples. The lily specimen. Yeah, that hurt like hell for a while. I feel like I've been hit by a shuttle. She looked around the medbay, noticing the stunned expressions on every alien face. Is there coffee? I really need coffee. You need... Dr. Shivara's voice rose an octave. You need to lie back down. Your system should be in complete failure. The neurotoxin alone should have paralyzed your respiratory system. Lisa touched her neck where the medical sensors were still attached. I mean, I feel pretty rough, but I don't think I need to lie down. How long was I out? 22 hours. 22... Lisa's eyes widened. Oh no, James is going to kill me. We were supposed to recalibrate the plasma manifolds yesterday. She started toward the door. Wait. Dr. Shivara blocked her path, though the doctor was a full head shorter than the human. I need to run tests. I need to understand how you survived. The Zarian poison lily is universally lethal. It destroys neural pathways, liquefies cellular structures. Look, Doc, I appreciate the concern, but I really need that coffee. Lisa gently moved past her. You can run your tests after I've had caffeine and checked on the manifolds. I promise I'm not going to suddenly drop dead. She walked out of the medbay, leaving a room full of stunned medical personnel in her wake. James was in the ship's lounge, staring into a cup of cold tea he'd forgotten to drink when Lisa walked in. He nearly dropped the cup. "Lisa?" He stood so quickly his chair toppled backward. How are you walking? Talking, not dead?" Lisa went straight to the coffee dispenser and programmed her usual order. Black, double strength, 1 sugar. "Yeah, apparently I'm full of surprises. Dr. Shivara said the toxin was lethal. She said you had a 30% chance even with the antidote." Lisa took a long sip of her coffee and sighed with satisfaction. Turns out humans have redundant metabolic pathways that most species don't. And our liver is apparently really good at breaking down complex organic toxins. She shrugged. Who knew? By the time the story spread through the ship, it had grown into legend. The human who walked off a death sentence. The crew member who needed coffee more than medical intervention. Commander Velthar updated the ship's safety protocols that very day. In case of human poisoning, monitor closely, but do not panic. They are surprisingly resilient. Lisa finished her coffee and went to help James with the manifolds. Just another day for humanity among the stars.